from HR.
Hold on. My Lycan alert noise is going on. There's no Lycan ban. Are we worried about that?
Is it the first pick material though?
It seems like most teams are treating that way, right? Because I think whenever it's not been banned...
Even with the recent nerfs, I think that hero is first pick material right now. You can set him up for success with one ban and one pick that covers him. It's completely fine. Instead, they go with the Pango. It's the flex pick for them. Fanic plays it. Roger plays it quite a lot. When you're opening, going for these flex picks has been the way for the last couple of days. When the patch just hit, this tournament was already ongoing, and some teams were struggling to find a way to draft, right? Because I think the coaches were hit the hardest because they had to figure out the best way to start drafting. And right now, I don't think that we have found the best way, but everyone has returned to the flexible picks, right? Just go for ultra flex in the first two picks so they don't know what the hell is happening, and then figure it out yourself too.
And I like this. You mentioned that Lycan is first pick material. This hero does solid against Lycan and this. Okay, I thought this was gonna be a Beastmaster Lycan.
I was wondering as well, because that would be an insane amount of push.
I like this. I like this even more. I think Beastmaster and Grimstroke are just fine enough together. You have the double Roar. You have a hero that builds Necros. You have a Beastmaster that's in a really good spot at the moment, but this pick, Enchantress, completely counters him in the lane. You have to go for your Aura and Axes, you can't go for the Beasts, and overall throughout the game you can just control his units and mess with him.
And then if you do not go for the units, then he can use the enchant to purge off the third spell from the Grimstroke, so there's not gonna be Inkswell if they lane against one another, since this Grimstroke can still be on both safe lane and off lane.
And we've seen, actually, the Pangolier plus the Enchantress put out a lot more aggression in previous days than we would have expected when they're laned together, right? So I think it was Dota, we had the Clockwork went to safe lane instead, and then they stuck an Enchantress with a Pangolier, who's usually a hero that you don't expect to have a good lane.
Yeah, and they actually won that lane quite hard against the Troll Oracle. Yeah, okay. I still don't think that should have happened, right? Liz, do you win Pango Ench against Troll Oracle?
You do have a lot of poke potential, right? You have the new Enchantress, in which you have Impetus on level 1. And also that lane, it was kind of wonky because Enchantress went with two in Enchant, right? And just caught the Troll off guard many times. So I don't think you should dominate that lane that hard, like they did.
Okay. Well, we just saw the Tusk picked up, which you were quite strong on this, Free. You thought that that was maybe the piece that allowed Nigma to propel themselves yesterday, right? It wasn't as much the Clinks, it was the Tusk in combination with that type of hero.
Yeah, Tusk in combination with the Clinks and also in combination with the other heroes. I feel like as a team, they utilize it really well. GH is awesome with the spells, right? He's hitting them on point. The shards, the snowball says, everything is there. And of course, the movement is very important. So I like the pick. I like it with the Grimstroke. If you go in with the Beastmaster, he also does a lot of physical damage. Lizard said this might be a Beastmaster who goes for axes, so we can see that amplified physical damage. It could be really good, and I'm curious to see which cores are they gonna pair with this.
How do you feel about HellRaisers when you see that pick, though? Like, does the Enchantress put out enough harassment lane? Because presumably this is going to be a support Enchantress.
Enchantress definitely puts out enough in the laning stage. At least if played properly, it doesn't even matter on which lane they send her. At this point, it looks like the laning stage should be all right for them. This is a very early Kunkka pick.
This is usually like the kind of filler pick we see still, right? The Kunkka kind of fills a lot of gaps in the lineup.
Maybe they're baiting out that Razor position 5 again with the Kunkka pick, or perhaps Razor mid versus him, because they didn't cover it. They didn't cover this Kunkka with anything at all. You still have the Monkey King in the pool, you still have the Razor in the pool that can be picked up, and this also makes me think that HR have a different idea about how they're going to play their game, and that they're trying to bait something out. Picking a Kunkka this early on really isn't ordinary.
And it's not like a really good Kunkka game. You have tasks to save people, so it's pretty weird. But like Lizard said, they definitely should know what they're doing, and they might be baiting something out. So It's gonna be
It might be your casual offlane Kunkka perhaps with Pango 4, position 5 edge, and then you last pick your mid and safe lane, and that actually makes a lot of sense. Kunkka with that ghost ship in the mid game can provide a lot of utility from the offlane. It used to be picked quite often there. Isn't really as popular as before because you have to commit on securing his lane. You can't have a position 4 Kunkka running around 10 minutes in. From that offlane, that is.
I guess it does help if someone gets roared and they want to go in on him. The damage mitigation from the boat can help, so there is a possibility that we see it on position 4 offlane.
On 4 as well, yeah. Roger played it. Roger
Yeah.
played it quite a lot before, so it's a hero that's a very flexible pick for them right now.
So what does Nigma go for here?
You have a Beastmaster, right? And you have a Greenstroke, and this gives you some sort of an idea about what they will be willing to pick. And this is definitely not where I was going for, but yeah.
Finish your
like
point
that.
anyway, yeah.
Something like that, Dazzle. All right. I don't really like this way too much because it does look like a Kunkka answer, and they will literally just move that Kunkka into the offlane and pick something else for the mid lane, right? The only question is maybe Nigma can do the same and then play the musical chairs, put the Dazzle on the safe lane. We'll see, but what I like about the Dazzle, however, is that you already have Dazzle and Beastmaster. These 4 heroes on their own can already put a significant amount of pressure on HR, and they can play that 4 Protect 1 that they've been running for the last 2-3 series.
Yeah, that's exactly what you can see here. Dazzle, yeah, it counters the Kunkka. That's probably why they took so long with this particular pick, but it also goes really well with all the other heroes on the side of Nigma. So even if they move the Kunkka, the Dazzle still has some merit to it because it will synergize very well. What I'm afraid here, they only have one type of damage, and that's physical. So if you itemize correctly, it's gonna be extremely hard to kill some of these heroes on the side of HellRaisers.
Do you think that maybe Nigma's leaning a little bit too hard into the physical damage right now? Because it does seem like they are like, what, 80% physical? Do you want to see maybe a magical damage type hero to round out their draft?
I don't think so, no. I would... something mixed, such as Gyro comes into... can be picked, right? But it isn't a great hero right now, and you need a hard carry. You can't really afford yourself to go for purely magical damage.
Well, more physical coming out for HellRaisers. They do pick up the Weaver. Feel like a good pick this game. Is there enough lockdown to keep him in place and kill him off?
Well, there is the Roar, but other than that, it
Not really, just
looks like a
the Roar,
really
yeah.
good Weaver game. So
Weaver,
Maybe if you bind him to one of his teammates, that's like your one other play. But Soulbind isn't that easy to use correctly, right? Because it's that spontaneous factor of
yeah,
whoever
the
comes
Phantom's
closest.
Embrace is kind of alright, keeping him silenced, right? But overall, they don't really have enough catch for the Weaver, and it looks like a decent Weaver game. But it comes back to the point that these teams are playing with us. They're playing with the flexible picks, and when you look at this Weaver and you look at HR and how they have played the Weaver before, that was usually Funnic, right? Playing it on that offlane, going for a diffusal into Aghanim. So this could be even a Kunkka mid or Kunkka safe lane once again. You really cannot tell, and that's what makes the draft from HR so good. It's very flexible, especially if you know what their past is like with these heroes.
I like the idea of the Kunkka safe lane here against the Beastmaster. With the Enchantress in the lane, it should work really well, and it kind of gives them the opportunity to pick something again, possibly against the Dazzle. Again, this Dazzle can be moved around, but yeah, I wouldn't like to see it in mid, and definitely would like to see it in the safe lane.
We did see a Mars banned out by Nigma in the final phase. Just a hero that's really good at stopping them from just balling together, right? We've seen Mars very popular actually throughout this tournament in terms of bans and picks.
I mean, we have seen a Mars game just now,
Yeah.
and it worked out really well. What I am obviously seeing is that Nigma thinks HR need an offlaner as their last pick, but even that Mars can be played on mid, and is played on mid and even safe lane quite often. While HR is convinced that Nigma need a hard carry, and that's really what's obvious to everyone. They need something to round up this lineup, either something that's going to be able to join this push strategy, the snowball strategy that Nigma has got going, or something that goes into the late game, and that's good versus Weaver and Kunkka.
Definitely a team that so far I feel like we've seen Nigma, they lean heavier into this early mid game, right? They don't think too much about maybe we just need to come back and
I like the puck here, to be honest. It's kind of flexible. Okay, they go for the bristle.
More minus armor.
Well, yeah.
A lot of physical on both sides now, right?
Yeah, he builds into the Crimson Guard. Possibly. Not the greatest of items right now. Not the most popular, but against a heavy physical damage lineup, could work. Still,
it's pretty good, even versus Shadow Wave from Dazzle, right? But that's it. There you go. That makes a lot of sense. Dazzle with Meepo is a combination that's almost unstoppable, and this looks like such an easy Meepo game. It's ridiculous. They've played it yesterday too, and I'd be surprised if they somehow manage to lose this game, because HR, they really don't have anything to really counter that Meepo.
They have a Pango.
It's really not a counter. It feels good if he's really overfarmed.
Yeah.
Same can be said for Weaver. But if Meepo plays his cards right, he shouldn't lose this game, especially with the Dazzle. It's a very difficult game to lose.
Yeah, I like that we have Liz here. When we had the Meepo last time, we were kind of unsure. It looked like a good Meepo game, synergizes well with the heroes, but you don't really know how it goes from a Meepo player perspective. Here Liz, if he says that this is a free Meepo game, I'm definitely like agreeing with him. I don't think that HR don't have a chance. Like he said, if Pango is super farm, gets Axe, gets Maelstrom and stuff like that, he can deal with him, but that's like super late game scenario, and this Nigma lineup should come online before that.
That's the part, right? Like, most importantly, they have these 4 heroes that can fight if Meepo needs to just absorb the rest of the map, Liz.
They managed to have really, really good knowledge in the first 3 games about when HR is going to go for that rush, when Nigma is going to go for that rush. So if they manage to have the same sense for that versus this Meepo, and they stop him from getting 1 Aegis or 2, they can take the game. But I repeat, it's extremely difficult.
Extremely difficult indeed. So from the panelist perspective, it's starting to sound a lot like we might end up with a 5-game series, right? Because HellRaisers, they are 2 games up and they are 1 away from winning, but when a Meepo spammer says that the Meepo has got this, it's hard to gamble against that. I wonder what our casters think though. Nomad, T-Governor, you think we're going to get a 5th game here, boys?
You know what, Killer Pigeon? I'm really trying hard, looking for HellRaisers' chance to win this game, and I can't fit. It's just too small. I can't see it. I think this one's in the bag for Nigma, personally.
Honestly, you started off this panel, it was like, give me the Microsoft, quickly. And it's beautiful. Yeah, I would fully agree that this Meepo last pick, it really does a lot of work in this game. I think you have to think about maybe the Kunkka and the Pangolier might have a chance of doing something, but no, it's Weepo. We can't discredit this man. And the fact that is it a Dazzle core, I believe, right? Going to be...
I think so. I mean, I don't want to call anything on Nigma. It's a dangerous move. You'll always look like an idiot.
It is. Miracle on the Dazzle. So we are potentially as well going to see the Aghanims
so going Aghanims, dude. 100%. Yeah. Okay, I came into this tournament on the first day. I was like, if I don't see an Aghanims on either the Dazzle or the Snapfire, then I'm not leaving. I'm just going to stick around and sit in the WePlay studios and annoy them until it happens. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see this one. Definitely looking forward to seeing if he does go for that build, because I expect he will. It looks like a really good game for it. But yeah, I mean, this Meepo looking like it's going to be relatively untouched this game. But you know, there is a lot of AoE damage, right? You've got the Pangolier, you've got the bugs coming out from the Weaver, you've got the Bristleback as well on the Kunkka. So they've got enough maybe to hit him earlier on. But if we gets out of control, then it doesn't really feel like as much they can do.
Yeah, I feel like we might be kind of clutching a little bit here with HellRaisers draft, because when you think about it, if they approach a fight, you've got the Pangolier rolling in, now you've got this Beastmaster, the BKB piercing Roar. If they do connect any damage on, of course the Dazzle, being able to heal up all these Meepos. Like, you've got the Save of Tusk. I think they've got such a beautiful lineup to enable this Meepo, that because it's such a good game, as quoted by Lizard, the Meepo spammer, I believe people coin it as. Once upon a time, yeah. So, I think it's so easy for Nigma to enable this Meepo, and it's going to be a good game, nonetheless.
Yeah, but one thing, you know, I hear about a lot when I listen to people talk about Meepo is, like, if you can stop those, is it Ransacks? Used to be...
Yep.
yeah, if you can stop him getting off those on his other meepos, then it makes him very squishy because he can't heal up from it. And they do have a decent amount of AoE.
Yeah, the Pangolier though. Think about the Pangolier, the disarm. There's potential there, but these are very like minute clutch plays that I feel WeHa's gonna, even if mid lane for some reason becomes a struggle, he can farm up the jungle. They're gonna be able to rotate a hero into mid. Like they've got this wave push, so yeah, I think they're in a good spot. Okay, so what's Kasani?
Interesting, they didn't go use the poof to get the range creep, but didn't need it anyway. Apparently, gets it all the same. Every single creep in the first wave grabbed by a meepo, including a deny. That's a great first wave for him. Usually one he can struggle on sometimes, especially versus a hero like Kunkka, but not today. Meanwhile, off the top lane, Mind Control dropping pretty low here, and Funny's going to try and chase him through the trees, and that'll be a first blood coming through for HellRaisers once again. That would bring down Mind Control.
So it's actually HellRaisers have shifted towards doing the tri-lane, leaving kind of an individual core by themselves, and Nigma feeling the pain of having this, and Beastmaster does not like playing into tri-lanes, and we've seen it across this entire series. It's difficult, I think, Mind Control finding his footing in every game pretty much.
It's having a rough one, but hopefully we can see a bit of a turnaround this game for Mind Control up in the top lane. Meanwhile, we're continuing to do great in this middle lane so far. Trying to put the pressure on him.
But bringing the Bristle top now, actually trying to make sure they're enabling the right core. I feel like having Funnick top, it was they're putting that Bristle back at a potential disadvantage, especially against this Dazzle. I think you need to have the Weaver against Dazzle because Dazzle v melee heroes, very Dazzle favored.
Yeah, that Poison Touch doing a hell of a lot of work, and they have to come in close to the creeps for the Shadow Wave to take effect as well.
Exactly,
so
exactly.
Very, very annoying.
Roger trying to do something to annoy Meepo, but nah, nothing. He's just passing
Runs
through.
into lane, taunting his ass off, clicking on the voice wheel as well. Just chatting.
And the issue I think HellRaisers has is how can they actually apply pressure in these lanes when you have this Weaver and off lane with a Pangolier support? Like, there's not really a lot for you to do. Like, Roger trying to go for that Kuroki playstyle. Maybe I'll kill some couriers. You can see by the ward he's placed, that's his main playstyle. He might grab some waves, he might, you know, get a couple couriers, but there's not really much for him to do.
Yeah, he's running out of, well, he's never really had any option to do anything so far in this game. Looking for couriers just like Kuro was doing in that Bounty Hunter game, but so far unable to really find much of value. Meanwhile, Funnick gets caught inside the shards here. It looks like he's already used Sakuchi, so might just go down to the right clicks. They'll find him. Nicely done from GH there, just reading the situation nicely.
And leveling the shards, that's the main thing. Obviously, some Tusk trying to go for a snowball, but against the Weaver, as soon as you identify that Sakuchi's on cooldown, you can punish it with the shards. Oh, the cheeky Fortify. This is you're not getting these creeps. Fortify, it doesn't matter, not at all.
Doesn't seem to.
It literally means nothing.
Range
but
creep, right?
It's a power play. Psychological warfare,
Mm-hmm.
think about it. Come on, OG, TI, psychology. Trying to implement it here.
But meanwhile, whilst we dominates the middle lane pretty nicely, Dazzle doing pretty well up at top at the same time. In fact, these lanes not looking so sharp for HellRaisers right now as they've lost a hero in the bottom. Top lane hasn't really looked fantastic either. The Bristol struggling to get too much out of that one.
Just the fact that you have this Dazzle, just a Blightstone 1, like there's so many spells being spammed out in this lane, it's going to be such an easy time to collect the 1 charges, you're going to farm up. Like, I don't think bot lane is interesting, but Mind Control top though, playing with the Grimstroke.
Going on, Tim,
he's
there's a lot of quills.
There's a
lot of quills. Oh my goodness, so
see you,
many. See you later, Mind Control. Deary me, it's not been a clean one from him. As Nick's going to get himself the double, pop in the quills once again. But bottom lane, they're really looking for something as well. Here, look at the Swashbuckle coming through. That's a lot of damage. They're going to be able to get off a snowball, but is it going to save him? Not on your life. Meanwhile, Roger getting hit up by GH. I don't think Roger can get out of this one. It's going to die to the poison touch of Miracle from beyond the grave, but still a worthwhile trade for sure from HellRaisers as they find action in both the top and bottom lanes right now.
At least the Dazzle actually died second, so he didn't get the XP, especially with the changes to XP. Being alone there, that would have been pretty good for him, but no.
Mind Control using the opportunity to go down to the bottom lane though. Whilst both the cores are dead, they'll make the old switcheroo.
Yeah, it's all about having that Dazzle in the correct lane. You're just trying to want to pressure.
He just uses Gucci. Let's see, and Roger's going to try and come in. He does get the disarm actually onto Mind Control. Is going to make a difference? It is for now. Dust comes out. Mind Control's low, but Funnick has to keep his distance. He's got to be a little bit careful here to just find the hit. He needs a little bit more. He can't close the gap. Snowball forwards from GH, keeping Mind Control alive and allowing that South to go to work. Nobody going to die here in the bottom lane right now, but still close one. Very, very close.
But continued aggression. Yeah, it's just so difficult to kill them. Like, you have the snowball save, and even if you try and commit, like, even if Beastmaster wants to try and kill the Weaver, it's like the Sakuchi. Like, this is why the Weaver playing, it's such a decent Weaver game just for laning phase. I feel there's going to be troubles, of course, when you try and fight up against this Nigma lineup, but at least in laning phase, he has that advantage.
Yeah, later on things might get a bit messy for him though, with a punch, with the snowball, with the brawl, they've got
with literally everything.
Yeah,
when Nigma
root as well, you know, it's
like the way that you have this Weaver in the game. It's like he's
mind control, take a step 2 forwards, and they immediately a very high mobility lane down here at bottom, and again losing his life. GH getting hit under the tower, but I'm not too sure they want to dive this one. They certainly will not.
Yeah, the way that Funnick last plays the Weaver, he had a Diffusal Blade rush, and he's trying to be super aggressive. But when you look at this Nigma lineup, we've said it already, great jukes, they're going to want to group up quite early. So Weaver, he likes to play against lineups that want to be greedier, want to farm up a bit, and Weeha moving bottom, collecting a kill. So my main concern is, how does Weaver actually transition an okay lane into any tempo in the game?
Does he?
Yeah, exactly, it was kind of like, he doesn't.
Meanwhile, Miracle throwing down the Poison Touch onto the next Kuro coming in as well, trying to bully him up as much as possible. He's got a Stroke of Fate throughout, but will not to do so. Especially, you know, with Miposhka coming in and just throwing some spears into his ass. It's a very annoying hero, but you know what's more annoying? This Tusk coming forward with the Inkswell with the damage and the Shadow Wave. Miposhka doesn't get a chance to even take a breath before she's eliminated by the 3 Nigma heroes with a quick rotation through from the Tusk.
It's refreshing to see Kuroki actually on a real support. We've had too many games of
weird.
Like, yeah, I wasn't ready for this. He's actually also got a stun. He hasn't played many stunning heroes recently.
Not really, no.
Yeah, literally none. Well, Miracle potentially overstaying his box.
The return kill, is it going to be here in time? Well, it's not, because the Snowball coming in the back. Nick's still chasing here. He's got the Quills. Miracle, I highlight. Oh, nice what shot. A shot. He's still in range.
No,
still in range. But Nyx will die for this at the very least. They'll find the turnaround. It's a small respite, but they will take it. Meanwhile, big Stroke of Fate coming out onto Roger. GH is like, well, I could try, but doesn't want to. Meanwhile, Swashbuckle onto Kuro. Meanwhile, the X marks the boat, all coming down onto GH, and this is looking like it might be the...
Oh, the Snowball.
Oh. Hello, sir?
He used his Tidebringer as well.
Yeah, he did, actually. That's
oh, the GH! No, buddy!
Well, I mean, you never know what's really going to happen in the trees there when you pop those shards. Sometimes it pops you to where you want to be, sometimes it pops you where you don't want to be. It gets a bit crowded, it gets a bit weird, and unfortunately GH doesn't manage to satisfy the gods of the shards today.
Yeah, it was a cute attempt nonetheless. But meanwhile, Meepo free farms.
84 and 5 currently. My man's got money, and Miposhka, he's got a net
and
around
rotation.
him, which he doesn't want right now. Shadow Wave helping out as well for the big hits onto Miposhka. Meanwhile, bottom, Mind Control dying again, but Nyx, now the return looks like it's coming on through, but Funnick is here, right-clicking into GH. There's a lot of heroes coming in for this one.
But the
and one of them is
rotation,
Wee. Oh dear, here's the damage. They kill off GH, and now they look towards Funnick, and it's going to be the return. The trade is made, and I think he'll take that one.
We are literally playing across the entire map, killing Enchantress bottom, getting, like, moving bottom straight away. Just really good movement from Weeha right now. Just punishing the fact that if he does connect to net, it will most likely lead to a death. Quite. Unless maybe the Kunk is there.
Miracle taking some hits here. Still doesn't have a level in that Shallow Grave. Not that it would help him out much here anyway. He's slowed up, he's getting beaten down, turns around with a heal, but he will lose his life in the end.
This is probably the best thing that HellRaisers could do, is by killing off this Dazzle. If he can't really play behind his Meepo, then it might be a little bit hard. Like, he's gone for the Necro 1, now obviously going Boots, maybe even the Greaves. If you can offset his timings, yeah, like, you might see a disparity in how aggressive Nigma can be. But yeah, Mind Control just... Funnick is making sure that Mind Control doesn't really have a game, but just hit level 6.
Is he? He survives the urn, he survives, but Funnick's still chasing him, really wants to finish this kill here, and will be able to do so. Unfortunately, he's going to get hit up by the tower now along with the ball, but he's got the Scoochie to try and run himself away, going south. They're still trying to chase him. Meepo's not done, but I think maybe Funnick... Oh, he actually just misses that net, and that should be the end of the chase. Weaver runs away to safety.
That was so close. As the Beastmaster got jumped, Weeha went onto the mid as well, killing off the creeps, giving Beastmaster 6. So close to maybe getting out with a very clutch level up in Raw. But you can see by the way HellRaisers are playing, they're trying to like prevent this free
ignoring
farm.
the Meepo, yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to like cause confusion, make them rotate, but the issue is Weeha's the one actually kind of connecting in this aggression and cleaning up the kills.
We'll deal with him later.
Yeah, hopefully.
Get rid of everybody else now,
but
kill the other heroes. GH taking a rather long time to die here, but the disarm's going to stop him getting any more hits, and he will die in the jungle there, trying to just secure his team the outpost, and does actually do so, as the Radiant weren't able to get any XP from that. That's pretty... doesn't feel too good for Team Enigma. I don't think they're too worried, because they've been having such a good game so far, so everything kind of going to plan currently. Oh, look what Dazzle's got queued up. Miracle, come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah, like Necro 1 into Greaves. These are the Nigma are really strong at playing for their timings. Necro 1 allows you to farm, especially with the Dazzle with the cooldown. You have Necros on a higher uptime, and then you go for that Greaves. You're then playing for your Meepo, which will most likely this game. I'd expect it to be E-Blade into Skadi. You want the Skadi against the Bristleback, and also the catch onto the Weaver.
Talking of going on to Bristleback, GH is well and truly on top of him, punching up into the air, and Nix is going to lose his life. Meanwhile, finally coming in around the outlines, trying to look for Miracle, but to get forward up. He's being beaten down. There's no counterplay here. Just a silence out onto him, and he can't get rid of it in time. Does lose his life. Meanwhile, Roger comes rolling onto the side here, but gets connected up with that leash. Should still be able to get forward onto Miracle here. Shallow Grave only going to increase his death time, but he still is going to drop. Meanwhile, in comes the Meepo. Here comes the big guns, starting in some trouble right now. By some trouble. I mean, he's absolutely dead. Dead to rights. Roger now the last surviving member. Swashbuckle forwards might buy him a little bit of time. Shards off the mark as well, but their snowball is certainly not. Can't be. Roger going to get run down under the tower. Still running himself away. Going to heal up a little bit. Make himself a little bit more tanky with his shield crash, but still killed off. That is not a good trade for HellRaisers once again here. It seems like any engagement which we turns up to, all of a sudden HellRaisers don't really have much say in how it goes.
Yeah, when you look at HellRaisers here, it's like even if they catch his Dazzle, there's no explosive damage. So the Dazzle gets Grave off, prolongs the fight, Weehar can then rotate in, and then just clean up. You have to use so much to try and kill off this Dazzle. He used X, Torrent, Boat, and after that you then kind of leave yourself questioning, how do we kill the Meepo now? This is probably the best play that HellRaisers can make right now, trying to do this continued aggression.
Yeah, Miracle's surviving for now, but Kuro won't be so looking. I think Miracle might be going down on the same snow. We're going to try and buy him a little bit of time, but meanwhile around the back, Kastani's got Meepo troubles, and he's not going to live through this one. Meanwhile, Nick's killing off in the shards. It's a trade, but it's not a good one. It is Miracle for 3, as we, once again, you know, when he's there, things do not go HellRaisers' way.
The question you ask yourself is, at what point can HellRaisers actually take a fight? And the real answer is, it really isn't any time soon. Then maybe thinking about itemization. Bristleback might be able to go Radiance, but there's no way you can find farm on this map when Nigma are just the ones wanting to play aggressive, and it's so difficult for them. Their draft, in theory, could be good. You've seen them be able to execute such aggressive lines before, but they always cover themselves with the Meepo ban, these kind of these Weehar picks that can just take over the game. And unfortunately, in this game, they ban out the Morphling instead, thinking it's a Dazzle mid, and then they just get Meepo'd.
It's rough, but I think they're trying to do everything they can to take the win here. You know, just running and running and running at Nigma's supports. You know, if you can farm up enough by killing those heroes and pushing them behind whilst propelling yourselves forwards, and then the Meepo just dies at the start of the fight, or you find a cheeky pick-off, then you do open up the game for yourself a little bit.
HellRaisers, they're playing for Nigma to make a mistake. They keep forcing that objective, they keep forcing rotations in the hope that maybe one fight they don't bring the correct amount of numbers. But as you can see here, Meepo, he's got that E-Blade already, going towards the Silver Edge.
13 minutes in, and he's nearly hit 10k net worth on Wii. This is brutal.
It's
absolutely brutal.
It's a massacre right now.
Still, I mean, no net worth advantage still, though. I mean, you've still got to look at the other heroes in the game, right? It's Bristol and Kunkka doing pretty well, but
it's kind of mind control, though, you know? Like, his slot within the team, he's always, like, 1k ahead of his supports. He's always tanking a couple deaths, but unfortunately, that's just how it is in this new era of Nigma. It's mind control is kind of playing that 3.5.
Yeah, Nigma, they seem to have the dual 3s out right now.
Radiant are scanning.
And scanning this rotation, Micro just being able to get out. Yeah, nice. Just behind the Vlads, he knows he's an enabling factor in this game. All he has to do is connect that roar into the Pangolier during the roll. Even if the Weaver maybe oversteps him out, use it there, and just play with his team.
Yeah, it's such an atrocious Pangolier game. I don't think that's something we really mentioned enough, but when you look at the Rolling Thunder as a way to mess with the Meepo, you got to say, like, they've got Roar and they've got Leash from the Grimstroke as well, so it's extremely unlikely that Roger's actually going to be able to do any of that. He can probably just hope for a Swashbuckle and then see if he can get some spells thrown on him.
You can see here the double core showing mid whilst they're trying to smoke up around this area. Meepo and Dazzle aren't actually close enough, so this could be okay for... But okay, there's the instant TP from the Dazzle, and the Meepo's running up now.
I mean, they've let the bounty runes go. Nyx, realizing how many heroes there are here, but at the same time, doesn't really care too much. And now with the Rolling Thunder coming in from behind, they were going to immediately throw down the double Roar, double Soulbind as they throw it down onto Roger right now. And Roger is going to get finished up just by the side of Nigma. So, you know, not safe inside that Rolling Thunder.
They should just go straight to Roshan at this point. No Rolling Thunder, just go Roshan potentially. Or they just push out the lanes. Okay. Getting a little bit carried away, they're not going to lie.
Yeah, they're still got some magic to go on their Meepo first, I think. It's Shadowblade Meepo. Interesting.
Yeah, it's going for that Silver Edge, like I mentioned. You want to be able to eat through this potentially tanky Bristleback, and if you do want to have a setup, then, of course, playing against Weaver, it's going to be pretty nice getting that kind of invis reveal onto him. Because as soon as you net him, you are going to be killing him. You can see from Nigma's aggression, they're trying to play in this Roshan area. They know that they need at least 1 to 2 more pickoffs to then unlock Roshan.
Yeah.
Ideally, if Kunkka and Pangolier can waste their spells, that's when they can take it. But HellRaisers, they have pretty good vision here. They have both ward above and below the pit right now, as you can see here on the minimap.
Smoke up as they continue to go in. Now, Smoke's going to get popped, so they know something's going on here. Do they care?
HellRaisers with the high ground advantage. We've seen them expertly take fights within the choke points before.
Yep, in a similar position, but the shards, it's going to actually force them into something here. It looks like they've cut them all off, but Nigma, they're hesitant. They don't know what to do about this, as they're all going to head back to their own high ground. And look at this
under the vision of Dire,
though. So much value for the side of HellRaisers.
Yeah, exactly that.
Roshan going to remain undone for now. Meanwhile, GH, he's looking for a wide rotation, but they see him.
Oh. Trying to tank out a spell or two.
He's got the snowball, but no one's really coming over here. One hero is coming over, and that's a Grimstroke, but it looks like GH is just going to give his life for nothing here.
Yeah, a wild move from GH there, but again, you have to look at it. It's such perfect vision from HellRaisers, identifying that Nigma, the Aegis is their way to control this game. You get the pick off instant smoke, play into your vision. HellRaisers just not fearing this farm Meepo right now, and you have to rate it. You have to respect that HellRaisers, even when you feel like they're behind, they're just not scared to make these plays. Like one positioning error and this Meepo will tear you apart.
Did I just see a neutral item? I'm fairly sure there's a neutral item in the Radiant hard camp, closest to the tier 2 tower. Over on the right here.
There it is. What is it?
Oh, I mean. Oh, that's a dragon.
That's a nice little item. That's
okay. Yeah, I doubt it's going to get stolen, but I mean, Nigma guys, come on.
Yeah,
let's look after those neutrals, guys.
He's probably actually Meepo farming it with his clone and unable to pick it up, so he just kind of forgot to tell his team. Maybe Weehar's very good with the micro. He's just minimap farming and then obviously not seeing that he picked up the item.
Yeah, the game kind of takes a turn for the uneventful right now as Nigma holding their side of the map. They do want to take this Roshan, but at the same time, they don't really feel the need to force anything particularly hard. It does mean that HellRaisers are able to farm up, especially with that kill onto GH. It's opening up the game for them a bit and able to find themselves some room. Now, they're going for a Crimson and into Lotus on the Bristle. I think the Weaver is the one guy who we're kind of looking at to be the actual carry on the side of HellRaisers.
I think they just want to try and be able to survive this jump.
Sorry, that's Funnick.
So he went. I like the vessel build and I like the axe. It's all about the fact that if Meepo makes a jump, he positions himself aggressively. If you can save that hero, for example, the Bristleback, who will be quite tanky, get that time lapse off, then of course the Meepo is in the wrong position. You layer that with the Pangolier, with the Kunkka, the boat, then you might be in a good position. Like Nigma, they are all around this Meepo, but unfortunately, Nyx overstepping his mark.
Is tanky, but not tanky enough, unfortunately. Gets a couple of kills. Sorry, a couple of quills. Definitely not getting a couple of kills in that gank as they look now towards Funnick.
He did get caught by the dust as well.
Time lapse has to be used immediately here defensively. Still trying to run away, but they are still chasing here, Nigma. Funnick is going to get... He's good. He's got another Sakuchi. Gonna Sakuchi his way out of there, but this might lead into Roshan for Nigma.
Yeah, the Bristleback down for 20 seconds. You do have the spells up on Kunkka and Pango, but I don't think they care too much. They've actually been able to de-ward most of the wards from HellRaisers in this area as well, so
there might be an opportunity, and in comes Roger, trying to jump over the cliff, will be able to do so. Roshan is low, it's an option here, Funnick trying to get in, but they've got the lasso onto 2 with the soul bind of Funnick. He just gets chopped up, immediately Roshan goes down, We takes the Aegis, Roger not sure what to do with himself, a boat comes crashing onto the meat post, but they don't really care, they're just going to turn around, annihilate Roger. Meanwhile, they're up on the high ground looking for more as well, Kasani getting his face beaten in by the rest of Nigma as we makes way over as well, snowball forwards onto Miposhka, the Enchantress in some trouble, turning around, finds himself a spear, a cheeky kill onto GH, but I mean, 1 for 5. It's not looking too pretty right now for these poor HellRaiser boys as the Meepo continues to run over this game, stampede over this game in every which way.
Yeah, this game was so delicate in which Roshan was the deciding factor. Bristle oversteps his mark in top lane, gets picked off, and it just completely collapses the game for HellRaisers. And yeah, they just can't muster a defense under this aggression of Nigma. Weehaw now just doing it whatever he wants, pushing bot, his team's showing mid. Like, it's so hard to kill this Meepo. And the best thing about Meepo with Aegis, you just keep the main Meepo of your team, you send off your clones to do something aggressive. Even if you die on your clone, you're going to respawn on your main Meepo.
It's a, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty safe game for him right now. Silver Edge as well, going to do a lot of work when you're killing heroes like the Enchantress or so forth. Bristleback, disabling the health regen somewhat as he's going to go in here, but Rolling Thunder just going to make the kill take a little bit longer.
They can't waste too many spells here. He has the Aegis. If you waste boat on the respawn of Meepo, it will just be a free fight. And
that tanky, but I mean, with the Dazzle coming in from behind, just pumping him full of heals right now.
They're just retreating. It's just defensive spell usage. This really isn't that much of a fight.
Jumping on everybody, trying to make sure that leash doesn't connect. With a Fisher comes through, they'll be able to kill off the Meepo at least once here. Meanwhile, Miracle still just coming in from the sidelines, trying to do as much as he can. We respawns, but Funnick just kind of hanging around at the sidelines. Going to throw down a Spirit Vessel onto GH, trying to get him on the side. Meanwhile, oh no, Roger, he's been caught out somewhat, surrounded by Meepos, absolutely encapsulated in a shell of the Meeps, and they're going to be able to kill him off.
They haven't actually really converted this into anything. Like, you've used an Aegis to get a kill on a Pangolier, and that's about it.
Yeah, the tier 2
maybe
should be forward
here
as well. Yeah, oh dear. This is a little Fawn, which does not want to be in this way, and oh, beautiful shards actually catching out Nyx, forcing him the long way around. He's able to dodge out one net, but how many can he dodge out? One Pangolier is the only answer. A buyback for the Pangolier, going to try and make this happen, but they're running out of health on this Bristleback real damn fast. He's going to drop, Conquer in the middle of everything, along with Roger trying to do something, trying to do anything, but all they are doing is dying and dying and dying again. Roger penned in, GG's are called, and the game goes to Nigma in 22 minutes flat. This is why you don't let the Meepo through. This is why you don't set yourself up to be Weepo'd this hard.
Yeah, you have to respect the Weepo there. It's